you wanted the best, you've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hey folks, it's Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. Ladies and gentlemen, there are these things that makes official. Welcome to the big show. As always, for 60 years, 2,400 episodes, we've been bringing the Chris Voss Show because, I don't know, we just felt like it. You know, sometimes you just wake up one morning in 2008 or 9 or whatever it was, and we were just like, yeah, we should do like a show, eh? And what should we call it? And we were like, I don't know, we should call it like social media blah, 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 or something like that. And we're just like, just call it the Chris Voss Show. It'll probably, we'll probably do that for a year or two. Next month we turn 17. So anyway, guys, be sure to refer the show to your family, friends, and relatives. Tell them to join one of the longest running podcasts ever, I guess, at this point. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1 on the TikTokity, and all those crazy places on the internet that you can find us. Today we had an amazing young lady returning to the show. Tasha Coryell joins us for her newest book, I should say, out July 15th, 2025, which is funny because I think she was on July 24th last year. Her new book is entitled Matchmaking for Psychopaths, and she is a prolific author. She's got 3 books out. We're going to talk about her newest one and all that good stuff and get into it. And it's just appropriate. She's on a show for Matchmaking for Psychopaths. She was here for a show called, for a book called Love Letters to a Serial Killer and Hungry People. So we're going to find out who hurt her and what went wrong. Welcome to the show, Tasha. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
I'm loving the titles of your book. Give us any.coms. Where can people find you on the interwebs?
Yeah, you can find me at tashacoryell.com. I also have an Instagram if you look up Tasha Coryell Writer, and I am on Blue Sky, which is, if you just search Tasha Coryell, I'll be there too.
I got a kick out of your title because I have a big 5,000 member dating group where people date. We try to get people dating person versus apps. So Matchmaking for Psychopaths, and then on the cover it says Dater Beware. Boy, I could have given you some stories for the book. Anyway, give us a 30,000 overview. What's inside your new book?
Yeah, so the book opens with our protagonist, Lexie, who is the matchmaker, and she is engaged to a soon-to-be doctor. He's in his residency, and she goes out for her birthday dinner, and she thinks he's going to propose, or she thinks that she's going to have a big surprise party, and then it turns out that he's leaving her for her best friend. But he's a matchmaker, and so she doesn't want to admit that she's like failed to find her own perfect partner. So she keeps what he did a secret. And this leads to her getting too close to some of her clients who also happen to have psychopathic traits or be psychopaths. And then things get really weird when some body parts start showing up at her house.
That's never good. I mean, is there ever a case where that's a good thing, you think?
I don't think so, unless you're expecting them.
Yeah, unless you're the ones who sent them to yourself, like OJ or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Didn't he mail the knife or something when he escaped to Chicago and disappeared for like right away after the killing? OJ did, and didn't he mail the gun? There's something.
I was a child during the OJ Simpson debacle, so I don't have a very clear memory of exactly what went down.
You didn't miss much, but it was something. Anyway, so what was the proponent for this concept behind this book? And like I said at the beginning of the show, who hurt you? No, I'm just kidding. Like what made you want to go down this path? You're like, this is a great topic.
So I was thinking about things that were relevant to our contemporary society, and I think something that comes up a lot is the loneliness crisis. There's a lot of discussion about how people are going out less, they're having fewer parties, they have fewer friends. Yeah. And so that was like big theme that I thought of. But also the other thing that was a big inspiration is I really like a lot of like reality dating shows, like Love is Blind. I watched Love Island. And I think that matchmaking is a really fun topic that everyone likes. So I wanted something that people could relate to, but also something that people like. As for my personal life, you asked who hurt me. I've been with my husband for 13 years. So this is really not based off my own personal experiences at all. It was more the things that I was interested in.
Did your husband ever look over you? And she's writing books about serial killers and psychopaths. I should keep one eye open at night, maybe. I'm just teasing. It's kind of funny because that's basically what dating is in 2025. I can tell you as a first-hand dater, it is matchmaking for psychopaths. I think at this point, everyone's running around with unresolved trauma from childhood of who hurt me, and everyone's just like, they got their own problems of damage and liability, and they're just running around and they're like, "Hey, do you want a mate? What do you got? I got a bag of broken glass. Oh, I got a bag of razor blades. Let's play."
Yeah, and that's sort of what happens for a lot of the couples in the book.
In fact, I have some friends working with matchmakers now. And so going through this, I mean, does this kind of follow some of the other books you've written? I know the serial killer book had some psychological thriller suspense to it. Is this kind of the genre that you want to keep operating in?
Yeah, so I want to keep writing thrillers, but I also like to have like a comedic element in there. I think that something being funny doesn't necessarily negate something being dark. So I think you could have like a really dark thriller, but also have it be funny. And I think that's sort of the niche where I fit in. Like
Halloween, maybe, the movie.
I love Halloween, the movie.
Do you? I was going to ask you what drew you to that sort of psychological thriller. Was it movies like that?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm a big scaredy cat when it comes to movies. I can't watch things that are like scary, but I like slasher films. I love the Scream movies. I think the Scream movies are amazing. I do read some horror, although sometimes it gets too scary for me. And I read a lot of thrillers. So I would say, and then I also watch a lot of reality television. So I think that this book sort of combines those two interests. Yeah.
Reality television kind of scares me because I realize that those people aren't fake characters that were made up by Stephen King or you. They're real. They're in real life and they're walking around. It's funny. Do you ever watch that 90 Day Fiancé? You ever seen that show?
I've never watched 90 Day Fiancé. No, that is not one that's on my list. Although I see stuff about it all the time.
Yeah, I'll see clips on like TikTok, and like, these people are like somehow trying to cram someone they've never met, or I guess someone they had a crush on, and they're trying to cram it into a 90-day fiancé and get married. And it's just extraordinary to watch because you're like, you aren't going to make it, man. Like, stop.
What's so funny is that in the first chapter of my book, there's a scene that takes place at a wedding. And the copy editors try to say that you don't see weddings on reality television. And I was like, that's not true at all. Like, clearly you're not watching Love is Blind, because the whole basis for that show is weddings. But also there are lots of shows like Married at First Sight, 90 Day Fiancé. All of these have like weddings as like either the beginning or the culmination of the show.
Yeah. I think The Bachelor, don't they just go to the STD clinic? Oh, I'm just telling jokes. Just doing jokes, folks. Don't write me if The Bachelor's your favorite show. I don't know. With novels, we can't disclose too much because you got to buy the book to find out how it ends. Kind of different than we have historical books on the show because we know how they all end. But so I don't want to give too much away. But at one point, this is in the Amazon read, so I suppose I'm not giving anything away. A human heart appears on her doorstep. I mean, is that a bad thing? Because that's usually my pickup thing for chicks.
Yeah, I think it is a bad thing for her. She doesn't know who the heart belongs to, and she doesn't know who sent it to her. And it unearthed a lot of stuff from her past that she's also trying to keep hidden.
Note to self, stop sending chicks body parts to signal my love. Okay, all right. It's tough out here dating. You got to try everything. So it creates a psychological suspense of that. Do you now this is a standalone from your prior books when it comes to the characters and everything in.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Do you see any potential that this might be a series at all?
I don't think so. I do get messages about both Matchmaking for Psychopaths and Love Letters to a Serial Killer asking for a sequel. And I'm not opposed to writing sequels. It's just about whether or not my editors want me to write a sequel. So I would say it's in there.
Yeah, some people get hooked on characters. It's really crazy. And we have authors that have these threads of characters and these continuations of them. The Tom Clancy stuff, of course, is popular. But it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. But yeah, if you ever need stories for a second or third or fourth or 50th book, I've got them from the dating scene on Psychopaths. So tell us about yourself. How did you grow up? What aspiring writers out there would probably want to hear your story. How did you grow up? When did you start writing? When did you kind of know you had a knack for it and you gave it your big shot?
I decided I wanted to be a writer when I was 8 years old. I just had a moment. I went to a very hippie elementary school that was really focused on hands-on learning, and we had creative writing time every day.
Wait, you learning? You went to school for learning? They don't make those anymore.
I mean, I did recently teach at a university, so I think that there are lots of people working really hard to educate students in a really difficult environment still.
It's getting tough for colleges too right now.
Yeah, but I really credit public school systems for giving me opportunities to write creatively, because that was where I first discovered that I wanted to be a writer. And then when I was in high school, I went to a public arts high school for creative writing, and I really just focused on continuing to write. I've written lots of novels that aren't published. And I think that's really common for writers to have novels that aren't published. And I think a lot of people in their heads, they're like, oh, I want to write a book. And they think that they'll just produce this like perfect object, which will then be published and put into the world. But I think for most people who are published novelists, they have a lot of books that are just like sitting on their computer. And it's just something, it's part of the process. It's like if you're an athlete, you don't just go and play the game. You have to have lots and lots of practice before you reach like the pinnacle of your career. So after high school, I got a bachelor's degree in creative writing, and then I got an MFA in creative writing, and then I kept writing while I was doing a PhD in composition and literature, or composition and rhetoric. So it's been a very, very long journey.
There you go. It just makes perfect. I mean, that's kind of how you hew the sword, right? You keep banging away it on the anvil and shape it, and I'm still getting better at writing, and I can't even spell.
I mean, spelling is not important.
Yeah, that's what the editor's for. That's what I always tell them.
Yeah.
They're like, where are the commas, Chris, and the periods? I'm like, I don't know. Just put them in somewhere, just throw them in there, and then write the.
No one really knows how to use commas. It's fine.
Yeah, there is kind of a truth to that, being this age where it's like not everyone keeps telling me they have to write their books shorter and shorter now because people don't want to read War and Peace anymore because they need to get back to their Instagram or TikTok. So what does the future hold? Is there any books you can disclose to us? Maybe you're working on any plans for future stuff?
I don't have any books that I can disclose. I am working on my next book, but it's not quite under contract yet. So I can't say that much about it, but I am working on my next book, yes.
Can you tell if it's another psychological thriller for your family?
Yeah, it is another psychological thriller.
Anything more you want to tease out on the book before we go?
I would say if you are a big fan of Love is Blind or Love Island, this is a great book for you if you're like trying to fill that void when it's not in season, or if you have been like disappointed with recent seasons, it's a really good book to read in that case.
Oh, we need to just make you a reality show, or make this a reality show, huh? Maybe.
Yeah, there for a while in one of my drafts, I created a whole fake reality show, but my editors made me cut it because they were worried that people would think it was a real show.
Ah, well, you know, I mean, that might be. Hey, you never know. I mean, they got all these shows, so you know, how come there's never ugly people on these shows? Like, really, it's always the beautiful people.
I mean, if you watch the right shows, there are people of all appearances on reality television.
Yeah, I guess it kind of. I mean, everyone has their different flavors, but it always seems to be like, you know, the beautiful people. It's like, I don't know. I think they need to have some people that I don't know. They're from the movie Deliverance on there, and they're trying to find love. You could call it Deliverance Love or something, or You Got to Pretty Mouth Love. I don't know. I'm just doing jokes here, people. Well, this has been fun. Tasha, thank you for coming on the show. Give us your .coms as we go out.
Yeah, TashaCoryell.com. You can also find me on Instagram or on Blue Sky.
Toothless Love or Meth Love, something like that. I can see a future show here. I'm going to start calling Hollywood. Anyway, thank you very much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it, Tasha. Thanks for coming back. Order up her book wherever fine books are sold, out July 15th, 2025, called Matchmaking for Psychopaths. I'm going to read it as a manual because I'm a psycho. Tasha Coryell has been on the show with us today. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1 on the TikTok, and all those crazy places on the internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next time. And that should have us out. Great.